2022 Central County Water Control District meeting. Becky, can you call the roll call, please?
District Manager?
Present.
C2?
Here.
Chair?
Present.
C3?
Here.
C5?
Here.
Well, C1, I'm sorry.
One. I don't know what seat, I don't even know what seat this is. I don't know what left.
District Treasurer?
Here.
Accounted for, Mr. Bennett won't be here.
Okay.
He excused himself, he's sick. Primero is on Zoom, I'm connecting now with him. And he will be part of it, he just texted me.
All right. Do we have any adoptions, deletions, or substitutions to this agenda?
At this present time, no, sir.
Thank you. All right, can we get a motion on the floor for the July 27, 2022 meeting? We have a motion for, a second.
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries for the meeting minutes on July 27, 2022. At this next time, we're going to take public comments. Mike, if you would. The floor is yours.
Recording in progress.
There you go.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I wanted to present to the board, you should all have in front of you a packet for approval for the right-of-way for school bus benches for the children of Montour. The first page would be the bench that we are willing to build as a community with volunteers from the community. The only thing I'm asking the board tonight is approval to put it on your right-of-way. That is all. The design is there. Page 2 consists of the dimensions. Page 3 is the materials needed per bench, which will be donated. And page 4 is the solar powered light that will be adapted to the bench so it could be illuminated for the children. To start, as a community, we are going to do 50 benches to start, for example, in the main roads, 5 throughout Pinecone, 5 throughout All Cypress, 5 Horse Club, Camino Criad, and so on. As more members of the community get involved for the safety of the children, we might be able to grow and build more. So I am asking on behalf of the children of the community for their safety, since there's been so many accidents and we're trying to prevent accidents from happening
Yes.
in our community for the children and for their safety.
So if I'll be able to see the meeting this time?
Go ahead.
For their safety, so they have a place where they can sit away from the road at the same time with a light. A lot of throughout the school year, a lot of the stops are at nighttime. And it's very dark, it's very dangerous, and the children are the future.
All right, thank you for that presentation. Any questions from the board?
I want that designated, I'll say it right now, I'm all for it.
Sure.
But we have to have a designated area where they go. They just can't be put anywhere, everywhere. There has to be a designated area, so.
Probably the bus stops.
Well,
Yes,
actually, I was gonna also have in hand, because throughout the school year, every school year, the bus stops changes
Yes.
in Moncton.
Yes.
I would have had the bus route map for this year. I am waiting to receive it. But while I get it, and then be able to see the most dangerous ones, like Pinecone, 5 throughout Pinecone, the most dangerous stops throughout Pinecone, where it's the darkest, where it's the most dangerous for the children. At that moment, I would be able to drive around and see with community members as to which ones are worse than others. I would have had that tonight. well.
Right.
I didn't acquire it in time for the meeting.
Yeah, I'm not talking about, obviously, it's gonna be with the bus stops. I'm saying, everywhere you put them, we have to decide where they're gonna be put. Remember, they're on our right of way, and we're okay. That means we're liable for any accidents.
So if we did, so what you're saying is if we did, that we'd have to work in conjunction with our engineer to make sure it's in the right location.
Or whoever, any board member here, but we gotta be consistent. It's gonna be in a certain area, on a certain street, and all of them the same.
Gotcha.
And you will, yeah, you'll move them every year, because every year.
Exactly.
We know that, but.
And that's not
I just-
wrong.
Yeah, right, the way I look at this, I don't work perfect, think about the wiggle.
Anything
That's
else?
all I say, we designate a particular area on every street, obviously a little further away from the road. We just gotta go look inside, yes.
Any questions?
Yes, you mentioned he's gonna have a light on the bench.
A solar power line
Well, I walk the bench.
adjacent to the bench.
A little bit.
Like in the back end, where your back goes in the corner, the light can go there. It's powered by the sun, no electricity is needed, and that way the children can have light where they're sitting, and it will not interfere with the traffic. It will not obstruct any cars that will be driving on the road, because it's only to illuminate the bench and the area where they're at.
Sounds good. Good job.
Anything else?
Good
Any
job.
other questions? So my only question, Becky, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, and just check with Mr. Romero.
He can hear you.
Does he have any
He's on.
objections or any
I'm
questions?
here.
Do you have
I'm
any-
here.
Do you have any questions about this proposal from the community member?
Did we lose him?
John?
I'm here. I'm
Did-
here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear?
me?
There you go.
Let's, since we're gonna have some technical.
I
So,
can hear you.
all right, put it on pause, put him on pause or mute, if you would. So depending on how we vote, if we vote yay, just depending on what he contractually sees as far as legal, as well working with our designer in-house engineer, sorry, to make sure it's in a strategic location, because, it is on the right of way. So, any other questions besides that? Can we get a motion on the floor if possible for this proposal?
So moved.
So we have a motion on the floor by Supervisor Alvarez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries depending on what the depending on what the attorney has to say, if there's any liability. But as far as the board, we're okay. We just don't know by legally.
And
if we're
when
okay.
will I be able to know that?
Hopefully.
We will call him tomorrow.
Get with the officer.
Explain it to him and
Right.
then we'll.
Okay,
And
Thank you very
and we thank you for stepping up to the plate with that. That's long
That's a
needed.
wonderful thing.
Thank you.
Good job.
thank you very much,
Appreciate
gentlemen.
it. Next up, Enrique Figueroa, please.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
First, let me start off with saying I've been here since 1985. And last couple of years, what you have done with the clubhouse, I just want to recommend everybody here, whoever has everything to do with it, because it's like it's all lit up again. It looks in great shape. And when I have family members from Puerto Rico, Clewiston, Tampa, come and visit me, I always bring them up here and look at the land around, and they were really impressed with the facility. Another thing, there's so much more people coming into Ventura now. It's not like it was. It's growing, it's growing, it's growing. My only reason for being here is another thing was the summer program for the kids, which I thought was great. I have a 6-year-old, and he loved it. I mean, I thought getting him up at 7 o'clock was gonna be hard since school was over. But no, he was ready to go, and also had a 14-year-old nephew. My thing was, as far as just to get to use the pool during now, I understand that during the week it's closed. Only time it's open is on Saturdays and Sundays.
That's correct.
And A reason why I wanted to ask is why couldn't it be open a couple of days during the week? A Monday, a Wednesday, Tuesday or Thursday, 4 or 5 hours. While I was there, I would come up there after 3 o'clock and do swimming lessons with my son.
Sure.
I noticed a lot of grandmas with their little ones,
Sure.
moms with their little ones. Time for the adult time, because we really, you know, once all through summer it was closed till 3 o'clock. And I understand that, and I was fine with that. We would come afterwards. But getting used to it, you know, coming out there. Another thing was I had a right knee replacement. I did in October 28th. I did all the therapy, but my thing was coming up to the pool. And I've met other people too, older women that had, you know, right knee replacements that were coming to the pool, walking in the water. You know, it really helps out a lot. I was a fitness trainer. I work at Big Cypress Reservation. I've been there 15 years. I started off even here in Montura in the 90s. I was here about 9 years. I was a head lifeguard here when Doug was here. I don't know if y'all remember Doug. That used to run Central County. Okay. My thing is just, y'all can think about it, because when the kids get out of school, they're home 3 o'clock, 3:30. I mean, they can't come to the pool. That's the attraction. I mean, there's the ball fields, soccer, you know, where they can go to the swings and that, and yes, that's all great. But I've seen, you know, that people were coming out there, especially the older, you know, adults, and it really helps, and it was really helping me. And I just wanted, even my son now asks me during the week, he gets home, can we go to the pool? And I said, no, we gotta wait for the weekend. And my weekend thing is, there is a lifeguard, because I called here, and there is a lifeguard that's out of school, and his mom is Minnie, that's her son, Alberto. In the weekends, they do have the 3 lifeguards that are still in school, which is great for Saturday and Sunday, because that's when they get the crowds, especially on a Sunday. But during the week, I noticed it's not gonna be like that. I don't think it'd be a hard thing for the lifeguard to keep track of 10, 15 people during the whole day while he's there, if you're gonna get that. But just that, you know, using the pool to its capacity, you know, we really need that open. A couple of times during the week, I don't think it's a lot. I mean, I think he gets paid maybe $10 an hour for 5 hours a day. You know, before I come to ask y'all, I talked to Miss Minnie to see if there was a lifeguard, because my assumption thought that they were all still in high school, so I understood that. But no, there's one that is out of school, and, you know, he's willing to do it if y'all can, you know, if y'all recommend it, or at least talk about it and think about it.
So more like you're talking about opening the pool from like 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
No. Well,
Weekdays.
Yeah, because around this time of the year, you're gonna get rain, and you're not gonna be able to use the pool. I look at it, if they get home at 3 o'clock, I mean, me personally, I go in the mornings, you know, 10, 11 o'clock, do a couple hours and then go home. But I'm looking at it could be 12 to 5, something like that, or 10 to 4, or 11. I mean, y'all can work out the time if y'all agree to it, but,
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Let's see what we'll talk amongst the board here. Board, any questions?
Why is it still summer? Well, school starts.
Well, the pool closes in November, which I understand that because of winter,
Right.
but
I think the biggest thing is, living out here, and my wife's been out here a long time, 30 plus years. I think the biggest thing is nobody has really utilized the facilities as before. In times past, nobody used the facilities. Like we said, like right now, it's raining. I don't know how long it's been raining by the water on the ground. So for the afternoon shower start at 3 and they go on. I think, me personally, I have no issue with it. I just know a lot of people says, oh man, we want to do dominoes at the clubhouse. We want to do this, that, and the other. And then you don't see anybody turn out, right? And then we're just having employees sitting there. So I think the board, for the most part, will speak. I think none of us are against it. It's just the community doesn't really participate or take advantage of it. Could be wrong.
If I had $1 for every time somebody's come up here in the past 20 years wanting to play dominoes.
I remember
I
one
would
board
retire.
member said it's gotta be open late at night because they're gonna be banging down the thing to play dominoes. I ain't seen a domino yet.
Domino's never.
I'm just saying,
I've been there all summer long.
Sure.
And after 3 o'clock, people were there, but like he's saying, something like that till 6 o'clock.
I'd love for the community to take advantage of the facilities. 'Cause
No,
that's what they're-
that's why I mentioned, because I have different residents asking me why it's closed on weekends.
Right.
They're asking me why they're having school 3 to 6 or 2 to 6.
Right.
And I think that would be convenient for the
Yeah,
residents.
that would be good too, you know, but at least 2 days out the week. Because from Monday to Friday, there's nothing, you know, I mean, it would be used.
I agree.
It's been used all summer long after 3 o'clock, people's been going there. The only reason why they didn't go there is because of camp.
It's just closed.
Camp was there 2 weeks, you know.
We'll let talk to us, so thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
And the other thing too is that we can't have kids that are being supervised dropped off in the pool, because that has happened in the past where parents dropped off their kids and then you have unsupervised kids inside the pool and the lifeguard is not there to
That's one of the main reasons why
counsel them
it's
or
closed
watch
during
them.
school
And
time.
that was,
I was gonna ask you.
yeah, that was something when I first got on the board that a lot of parents did express that they wanted the pool open after school hours, but we don't have an after school program to supervise the kids. So you're having minors in a pool with just a lifeguard. On the signs on the clubhouse, it's not we go by saying it's our community center and our clubhouse, but we are liable if anything happens to those kids. And without the proper documentation or the proper person to be there to make sure that nothing's going to happen to those kids, there's many other things that the clubhouse can be liable for. So the board at that time said that the clubhouse will be open during certain designated times, because during the weekends, parents don't work and parents are known to be there with their kids as they're recommended. And the lifeguards do tell the kids, you know, where's your mom and dad at and stuff like that. So that's the problems that we have had in the past, and that's why the board has went on that notion. But if they're looking to change that for, you know, changes, then we can try it again, you know.
Well, you do have adults still working there. You have a lifeguard there, but you also have adults working there, supervising people coming in and out.
Yes, our clubhouse maintenance crew is not designated for supervision of the youth.
But I see someone at the door checking people going in and out all the time. What I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying, but the lifeguard I was a head lifeguard. Whoever came into that pool, like you're saying, they're not supervised under a certain age, you don't let them in. That's it. People that can come in, come in. Now, if you have a capacity of 20, if the number reaches 20, no one comes in until someone leaves. It's how it's run, you know. I had no problem for 9 years being the only lifeguard there. And back then, you'd have 30, 35 people. You know how it was back then. I mean, Montour was running wild. You had people coming from Hialeah, Miami. It was crazy. But when they came to that pool, they knew who the boss was, or else they were sent home, period. And I also had the sheriff department come twice a day, but we don't have like we did back then. You had some gangs and you had kids that went up there and did crazy things and stuff like that. But I also had the sheriff department back then come at least twice a day just to make their rounds because they're in Montero. That's what they get paid for.
Appreciate it. So we don't go back and forth. It's not really that kind of discussion. So
Yes,
just the
sir.
board, but
I
appreciate
apologize.
it. No, you're good. You're good. I appreciate your passion and appreciate what you
Sounds
do.
good. Sounds good.
Any other questions?
Is it something we can try? Is it something?
Well, here's
doable?
yeah. Hold on a second. Here's what I would say. We can't take questions. I'm sorry. If you
No, I
want,
just want to give an opinion.
you can speak, but we can't really do that. So the back and forth
Right.
is not really. That's not really the.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's not really the thing here. But if you have a comment or would like to speak, you're more than welcome to fill out a sheet and speak on it. So what I would suggest, my suggestion is I'm not against it. I think anybody here is. It's just I don't think people partake and take advantage of it. Everybody wants to say, well, why do they do it at this time? Why do they do it this time? So again, we have to start with something. But if this blossoms, Rick, like what you're talking about, I wish that thing was open 7 days a week, all day long. We look, again, I think most people on this board, this community, that is Montura. Montura is that clubhouse. That is the anchor of our community. So again, with what you're proposing, I think we can look at it to it. Again, we can probably look at it again. It's probably been done a million times, but we can definitely try it again. But we just need help from the community to participate because again, we're taking on a cost, right? And the kid just might be sitting around, a young man, young woman sitting around and nothing's being done. So, we're for it.
I was gonna say that we did try it before, 4 years ago, and we literally paid the lifeguards for being sitting on the sofa from 6 to 9 p.m. at night.
But so that's what I'm saying. We're willing to try it again, but we just need the community to say, okay, I'm there, I'm in.
And you can't open for 3 people either. I mean, there's the problem. There's the problem.
Well, it's a give and take. Another thing I don't really, I'm really careful with the liability. I don't agree with one lifeguard in the pool.
Well, I know there's laws and there's standards that you have to meet, so I don't know where that is, but we're definitely gonna meet them. We're not getting it, especially with somebody's kid's life.
Anybody,
Do we wanna try it?
I have
Go.
I have no problem.
Let's go.
Arminio, you got an idea, of maybe open it a few days, give it a try. I like to give it a try because I know, I'm sorry to say, I know what the end result's gonna be, but I wanna try it. We owe the community
Let's
that.
give it a try for 1 month. Let's see what happens.
You can do it more than 1 month. I don't mind doing
Let's
it
just do
again, but we want to see people there enjoying the facilities.
Let's just do it and
Because
see
again,
how
it's
it
like a
goes.
cost.
Remember, if you open every, Howard, say you open 2 more days a week now, at the end of the month, you've had 3 people, 2 people, and 1 person, it's a no-brainer.
So if you could, is any of the board against it?
I'll make the motion that we entertain this situation, see how we're gonna do it.
I second.
So, and you guys wanna put a hour?
So I would say, Herminio, reach out to the community members, like Rick, I mean, he has a lot of experience with it. See what you guys can come up with a schedule, present it to us, let us look at it, and say, okay, let's try it. Let's try it for 3 months. Not against it.
No, definitely not.
Reach out to you or you to them?
We'll
Let's
just see how it goes.
So you guys are tabling it for next meeting or?
I would just say get with Rick and the community and see what we're talking about so you can present something to us, so you can present something to us and we say, yes, we agree.
Well, I don't know who's the community, so if you know, you just have him come into the office.
What, okay, just,
Again, at the end of the day, this is my approach. It should, again, everybody on this board works for the community. You know what I'm saying? This is the community. This is the community's pool, this is the community's stuff, so if they want to utilize it, let's do it. But we actually, we have a passion, but we want to see them utilize it. We really would like to see you utilize it, because again, they can come back and say, hey, it didn't work, but at least we
you gotta remember now, kids get out of school now, what time?
No,
3 o'clock?
it's not just the kids. We
Okay,
can talk
I'm
about
talking
grown-ups
about
that say they're gonna utilize it.
Well,
We have
kids
grown-ups
kids
as
are
well.
not allowed by themselves in the pool either way.
Right.
But they can come with their family member and get some
Yeah.
good exercise or whatever. That'd be great. That's what we need, some good bonding time.
Let's just keep in mind there is only one lifeguard that you guys agree to.
So let's, like I say, present something to us, and let's just see all together if it's foolproof. And
Oh,
let's
yes,
find-
that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be one lifeguard.
Is that the standard?
Huh?
Are we meeting the standard?
They change the codes depending on, our pool is a pool, it's not a commercial pool. So we are, 40 people capacity in the pool, and I will check again the codes, cause they change
They update them all.
there and there.
Yeah, good.
So, if I don't mistake, I believe for 40 people, it's a minimum of 2 or 3 lifeguards, depending on how many pools you have,
Sure.
because we got 2.
So check into it, you get some comments from the community and let's see if we can make this happen. I think it's a great thing. Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
And just remember that it's almost the end of August, so you got September.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, it's gonna be
Thank you.
closed in November.
All right. Next up, we have Richard Estrada.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
I'm here to inquire and get an update or be informed as to what's going on with the reservoir and the ATV riding. A lot of the landowners, are inquiring, and pretty much no one knows the facts. There's a lot of myth, and so I just would like to understand, what needs to be done, what the community needs to do to reopen the, I know there's some issues going on, but this has been going on close to a year now.
Quite a while.
And so pretty much, a lot of people want to understand what it would take, what we need to do to get it reopened.
Can I have that one? Can I take this one?
As soon as he's finished speaking, yes, sir.
Yeah, because it's not hard to understand. We were riding in wetlands, it ain't gonna happen. It's against the law. Nowhere in the world can you ride, nowhere in this country can you ride in wetlands. We were doing it, no one seemed to care, it was out of the way, and then someone told on us. I think there's 300 acres of uplands out there that can be used, and it's a matter of how you keep people out of the wetlands. And I say fencing, very expensive. It's not an easy solution. In a year, we may never ride out there again. I mean, it's just one of those things. When I was on this board, I was gone 5 years. The last year I was here, they came out here, and the same thing happened. And we were looking at big fines, got it smoothed over. We agreed to put up signs. We put up signs, and it was all good. They ran over the signs, shot the signs, stole the signs. So when they came back this time, I mean, they weren't playing. They weren't playing. I will say this very clear. If we don't find a way to separate the 300 acres that you'll be able to ride on, the rest of it, you forget about it. They're never gonna let us ride on it.
Appreciate that. Is Mr. Famero available? Because we've been waiting for him to give us some feedback on it.
He's right there.
From our consultant as well with South Florida Water Management. Because we need to know a path forward for sure.
Mr. Famero.
Can you hear?
Yeah,
Yeah, can they hear me?
Yes, they can hear you loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
All right, so our environmental consultant, Barrett, has been in contact with the district. We have submitted a proposal to allow limited areas of the reservoir to be reopened. So the way that proposal works is that he went out and he did a wetland map. So he identified all the wetland areas, all the upland areas. We have two fairly large upland areas that we would like to connect. I don't know if you guys I've sent that map out. It's been several months. I know Juan Mata was very familiar with the map. I think Benny is too.
yeah.
And so we're gonna have to propose mitigation. We're gonna have to impact a few wetlands to connect those two large upland areas. And to do that, we have to provide mitigation. So we're gonna have to spend some money fencing some of the areas, some of the wetland areas, so ATVs cannot get into those wetland areas. We're also going to be required by the district to create trails for the ATVs in the upland areas in the hope that the ATVs will stay out of the mudflats and stay in the upland areas. And so that proposal is being reviewed by the district. The direction I've gotten from the board is to try to work with the district to resolve the compliance matter and see if certain areas of the reservoir can be reopened. And one of the sticking points has been that the district has wanted us to have a security person there every time we open the reservoir, so that there's someone there to enforce the rules and make sure people stay out of wetland areas, but that's gonna be very expensive. And we've pushed back on that a little bit, but I would say within the next 4 weeks, we should have a really good idea of where we stand with the South Florida Water Management District. And we're gonna be able to reopen portions of the reservoir. The only question is gonna be at what cost? It's gonna be a mitigation cost. We're gonna have to get a permit. Pardon me?
Keep going, John.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, so the issue's gonna be at what cost. We can open it, but, you know, if the people don't abide by the fences, don't, you know, stay out of the wetland areas, then we're gonna be back where we started from. So we're gonna hopefully have a pilot project in the next couple of months where we can reopen parts of the reservoir. But again, we're gonna have to spend money to do the fencing and the signage, and I'm sure we can use our own men and equipment to create the new trails and block off the old trails that go right through the wetlands.
With that being said, 'cause
That's,
John, I'm a little more optimistic than most, so, but I'm a numbers guy as well. Until somebody shoots me numbers or what exactly do we need to do. So for instance, if we have to fence off, I'm gonna say 600 acres, you know, we'd like to know exactly what they're saying so we can put numbers together. Because right now we're just throwing stuff at a wall and nothing's sticking, but we're not really throwing stuff at a wall because we're not getting information. Need to know exactly what we can do so we can say, hey, community, this is what we're faced with. What's our plan of action, right?
Yeah, we're talking big dollars.
We don't know that yet.
I guarantee you, I know what fence costs a foot. I mean, you can deny it,
Yeah.
you can act like it ain't happening, but it's a lot of money.
But I think what I'm trying to say is we don't know what to fence off if they haven't
No.
kind of told us.
Right, well.
We can estimate,
No, yeah, it's gonna be,
but that's what we need, John. We need something in hard concrete very soon so we can say, okay, this is what we have to do in order to ride without disturbing the wetlands. But we need something in concrete because right now it's he said, she said. We think you can do this, we think you can do that. So we need something more in concrete so we can come up with a game plan if there is one.
One of the more difficult things
understood.
they're gonna ask us to do, because I was part of that meeting, I'm the one who drive them in there, is that they want us to fix every single drill hole in the entire wetland. So, you know, all the trails, every hole,
it's gotta be fixed.
it's gotta be fixed.
It's a lot of money.
And the only way to fix every single hole is with a front loader, with a bucket, because there's no trucks to make it out there because it's through the winter. So that's gonna be the worst,
I mean, that's,
worst of the
but
worst.
that's just negotiating, that's mitigating. I mean, there's people that damage some real wetlands. I'm talking, and we have people that built houses on wetlands and they've slapped them out here. So again, all that just negotiating and their big brother, they're supposed to have been watching over this. So they have some skin in the game.
Well, I'm
They
just
have a lot
saying
of
what they proposing us to do.
The lady, you remember, we backed her in the corner. What? Because first thing they say is, we're not telling you to close it. We're just telling you you can't do this anymore. You know,
Yeah.
it's been that way the whole time.
What
But if you look at what it's gonna take to fix that, and what it's gonna take to fix it, $50,000 bill.
So here,
We don't have the money.
so here's the other thing.
We don't have the money.
Where most of the community probably get misinformed is South Florida Water Management can't tell us to do anything. We can go out there and ride right now. If we said open that reservoir, it's open, right? The thing is when we disturb that wetland where they told us not to, then the fines come down, then the impacts. So where we want the community to understand is we all get punished for that. Not everybody's an ATV rider. Not everybody rides horses or those kinds of things. So it's a whole community thing. So that's what we're saying. This project, it will not be a Central County project. It will be a whole community-wide project. This is a great opportunity, like what you did with the benches. The community coming together to partake. Until we get those real facts,
Well, so that's exactly what we as a community are looking for.
Sure.
And when I say we, I talk to a lot of landowners who enjoy the reservoir.
Definitely enjoy that.
We all have.
And unfortunately, they're not here. They complain, typical, they complain, but they're not here.
It's okay.
But I wanna get the information
Sure, man.
so that I can say, hey, so this is the situation we have. This is what it would take. Are we on?
Sure.
And it's either participate or don't complain about it.
Yeah.
You know, a good thing you can do, Becky, if you would, thank you, Richard. If you would, when Mr. Famero, get with Mr. Famero, try to get this information, and when you get this information, make sure that you get your email, so she can email you the stuff and you can distribute it. And so it won't be, he said this, and you know, it's like this, so we can, because we're gonna have to come up with a game plan, you know what I'm saying?
But again, so basically, just looking for the facts.
Sure.
I know what happened, I know how it happened,
Right.
but I wanna know if we can fix it, this is what it takes to fix it.
Yeah, well, we can fix it, but it's gonna cost.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
Everything
Now,
costs
if
money.
all those people wanna any up, now you're talking.
No,
Now you're talking.
but that's, I get it.
Yeah.
So,
That's
you want it, it's so like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I don't even wanna go to Ventura anymore because I can't ride. Okay,
No, right.
But you could, we have to fix the problem and make sure that the problem doesn't continue.
Correct.
So that then we can enjoy it.
Yes.
Because truthfully, it's something unique that we had.
It is.
And I get it, I don't know how people like it, and I know the good and the bad that came with it, I understand. Just like with everything else.
Yes, sir.
But, you know, I've been here since 2005. The reason I've invested in Montura Ranches is because, number one, I like the country lifestyle, but I also like coming out there.
Yes.
So, and again, I just want information, so that I talk to quite a few people that are interested, but everybody says, what do we gotta do? And we don't know.
I think it's gonna be any up for silver.
So hopefully we can get those facts soon, so we can crunch numbers, then we can say, okay, this is what it is. I'm a little more optimistic than Benny, but watch it be 10 times higher.
Well, I will tell you this,
Go ahead.
I've been through this before with them,
Uh-huh.
and if you remember correctly, I'm just being honest, you say you wanna be honest, I'm not holding back any punches.
Sure.
The lady told us, there is not a reservoir in this country permitted for four-wheeler use. Y'all been doing it for years, there's no permit for this use, you
So
can't.
grandfathered in.
You know, we're not grandfathered in, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And this is what got us in
So
trouble.
grandfathered in.
This denial is what's got us in trouble. They can't and they won't, they can and they will, and they have, because had we continued, you know, 100,000, 200,000, the fines, $10,000 a day, they don't play. I know some other people that have been hit with these fines years back, so what it is the truth is, the uplands are available, I said it a while ago.
Sure.
You just gotta find a way to fence it off, because if you don't put fence out there, them knuckleheads are gonna be right in the water, and you know they will. A lot of people will respect it, but a lot of people won't, and so that's
Right,
it.
but again, once you have the recipe, fence could be a number of things.
Yes, sir.
Fence is not necessarily a chain link fence that is millions of dollars.
No, hot wire fence, it's thousands of dollars.
Well, right, but, you know, there's alternatives, but once you know what's required,
Yeah.
then we can work on the financial part of it. How do we get it done for less money? Because 50,000 don't cut it, it's gonna be way more.
No,
I know how.
I said it, if
I
you
know
won't
how.
touch it.
I know how. We sell the key for $2,500.
And I said that. And I almost had to leave.
Well, that's,
We almost had to leave.
well,
That's
if it's a
always
one-time fee, that's not, if it's a one-time fee, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
If you don't put up the fence, it'll get it done.
So again,
Anyway.
I'm
Keys used to be $50 a key. I paid it.
Well, there used to be no key.
Yeah, but only takes one person to mess it up.
there you go. So
Just
again,
one.
but
Yeah,
most people
and
on
that's
this
what did
board, most people on this board, so you'll know, are optimistic. I believe we can coexist because again, that's a great opportunity to show the community, show the environment that we know how to coexist, and we can teach our children, our grandchildren, hey, that's a wetland, you need to protect it. This is this is that. So this is a great opportunity to use it as a pavilion to do a concert out there. You know, there's a endless opportunities. Again, I'm a visionist, brother.
You need to wake up.
I'm a visionist.
You need to wake up.
So when y'all see me win the Nobel Peace Prize, I called it, all right? I called it at this meeting, Becky.
So ladies, you said it's been a year, and we still haven't got an answer, because every answer we got early on was gonna be spending a lot of money. And we've been tiptoeing.
And guess what? That reservoir has healed herself.
Yeah.
Mother Nature has healed herself, so
Yeah,
leave it
yeah.
up to Mother Nature. When you leave her alone, she'll do what she
Yeah.
does best. She'll take care of us.
And we did.
Take care of Mother Earth,
Hey,
baby.
Juan,
You gonna give me an amen for that?
hey, Juan,
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, Juan, I sent you a text, which is the latest letter we got from the district.
Okay.
And you can read it. So basically, they want us, the next step is to prepare a permit application and file it. That's gonna cost $3,000 to $5,000. And what they have said here is that this is right directly from the South Florida Water Management District Supervisor in the Fort Myers Regional Office. They have said, the big ticket items we need for the permit application include, but are not limited to, the following. Number one, the permit application will have to address both direct and secondary wetland impacts, where the trails to be used are adjacent to other wetland areas. And we will have to have a minimum 25-foot buffer from any wetland areas. Then we have to, all the wetland areas that have been impacted, we have to do an assessment of how bad they've been impacted. And we have to develop a mitigation, monitoring, and maintenance plan. And then it said here, I'm gonna read, quote, this is the district talking. We will need to see a written plan as to how CCWCD will enforce and monitor the recreational use of the reservoir, along with a plan to keep people out of the wetland areas.
I love it.
End quote.
50,000 right there.
That's my point.
So you know what?
Everybody's tiptoeing around this.
So you know, no.
They're making it difficult.
Listen.
Very
Remember, we work for the community. This
Yeah.
is what the community wants. So here you go. We as a community got this place in this situation. Here's the opportunity for us to change it around. Of course, you're going to have skin in the game, are they not?
Yeah.
So, hey.
So the keys are now gonna be $5,000.
Let's
Let's
see what the community can bring to the table to make this happen. I think it can happen.
The thing with the keys is, and people got it a little confused, our keys start on 100, not on 0. So when people say, oh, we sold 290 keys, is not a real number.
It starts at 100, yes.
Normally, we don't sell more than
150 at the most.
200 keys.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
10 grand.
Yeah.
You get
But
there.
again, we just need to thank you, John, for that, and Becky, if you could share that information with the community.
Can you send me that, John?
But there's a start. So again, there's a start. There's a process.
Yes, I did.
You send it to me too. I want that, because they've never officially given us this, but it's the same story.
Yeah.
They're you got to do this. You got to spend $2
yeah.
million.
But if you notice, they didn't say you couldn't do it.
They never said you couldn't do it.
All right.
They say you couldn't drive in wetlands, and they're saying it now. You have to stay out of the wetlands.
But in Montour, you can build a house on one.
Yeah, well, keep on. The people right here gonna be wanting to kill
It's
somebody.
gonna boil down to,
Sir,
Go ahead.
thank you, Richard.
it's gonna boil down to how much money and effort we're gonna wanna spend to
Totally agree.
create the new trails, to close out the old trails, to put up the fences, to establish a security patrol. I mean, that's what the Water Management District, they wanna see a plan.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You got a lot of grandchildren.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not a negative person, but the reality's
appreciate
not good. You can dance around it all you want, it's not good.
Hey, listen. My thing
Wetland
is.
preservation can't get us a grant.
Exactly. There's all kinds. Remember, there's always a solution to a problem. There's always a solution. And unfortunately, with this one, it's gonna be money. It's gonna be money and protecting but we as a whole tore up a lot there, just like everybody.
Yeah,
And we still don't know what we gotta pay.
Yes, that's already working.
We still don't know what we have to pay for this deal. But didn't we have to put some stuff back? or-
Mitigate.
So,
Mitigate.
okay, so we still don't know. This still could cost us $100,000, like now, before we know it, we still don't know.
It could cost 200,000.
Yeah, we don't, that's not even, that's just what we owe on the back.
I like your 50,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Another thing they did mention is that we're gonna have to have, well, like Martha said, they can propose to talk, but they
Yes.
did mention that they wanted us to, on good faith, because it's the right thing to do with the wetlands, is that we have to have a contract with, like the one we have for the fumigation of.
Yeah.
And they want us to put it in there and fumigate the entire wetland.
Yeah, we gotta pull, yeah. If you stick around a little bit, you're gonna be selling your property and getting out of here, because this is looking worse every minute.
No, just sell the ATVs.
Listen, I love this area, the woods, the thing, but it's not good.
One thing I would like to ask,
It's not.
We got more
it
restrictions.
comes to my mind, Big Cypress,
Big Cypress Preserve or Big Cypress?
Big Cypress, right, Southwest 8th Street,
Big Cypress Preserve?
yes.
Okay.
They provide out there, ATVs, and big,
Buggies.
yes, and those big, trucks, how do you call that?
Buggies.
Employees. And I believe, okay, it's my understanding, they have stickers on every eight, and on the bogies, and they have to have certain amount of tires that they don't stop the ground. They don't have to be special tires, certain wide, and we can implement that here. We can check it out. Maybe to the minimum.
We
Oh, yeah.
tried that already.
Cannot ride on the wetlands. You can't.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
No, listen. You don't understand what I'm saying.
On the other part.
If we can implement the same system
Right.
that they have down there, here, to the medium and go there, one with you, whatever, and find out how they do it, so we can do it.
But
It's a different area.
Yeah, the elephant in the elephant in the room is protecting the
Yeah, but it's
wetlands.
wetlands.
Yeah.
Some years back, and I'm pretty sure Benny knows this, we used to have stickers with the key.
Yeah, we have to stick.
Yeah.
You have the stickers with the
Like a
key.
little flag.
And the sticker doesn't mean you have the right to go into the wetlands, that's what Benny is talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It
say.
doesn't matter what you got.
Got
I
a
said,
sticker, put in your ATV, I have it.
if you sell a key,
He's on board with it. He's on board.
so you give the person a sticker,
Right.
so they can go there. At the same time, we have to inspect the ATV and make sure they have the right tires,
That's
the
after.
right equipment.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, that's after we protect the wetlands.
Yeah, first we got.
No, I understand, but that way we avoid damaging the wetlands in the future, using the same system that they have down there.
No, this plan will not allow you, this plan that we have to come up with will not allow you to participate in any wetland.
Nothing, you can't even fly with it.
No.
I don't know why this is so difficult. You cannot impact
At the same time, we sell a key to the residents. We put in the sticker, that way they cannot bring 4 or 5 people coming into the residence. Only one.
They can either way, that's why we have a security out there. What, the reason why they want us to do, we have to do the trails is because they don't want anybody, even in the uplands, out of the trails.
Yeah.
That's why they mentioned that the trails have to be 25 feet minimum from the fence, and the fence needs to be 25 minimum away from the wetland.
Correct.
So that's 50 feet.
The buffer.
So let's do it.
It's supposed to be barbed wire and electric.
So we're gonna move forward with the agenda here. Thank you, everybody, for your public comments. So, we appreciate that, it's a good idea. We gotta protect the wetland.
I think that
What about my,
Does she have fill out?
No, she has. I don't know.
Oh,
You're more than welcome to fill out. If you want to, go right ahead, please. This is for you guys. Come on. No wait.
What was the solution?
just gotta be maintenance.
Becky, anything on here as she fills out? As we go through, the old business still there?
The old business is the driveway policy, which was the one that he updated for us.
Okay, so we can scratch off B, right?
Yes, B he already spoke on.
Okay, we'll talk on the resilient grant as well, and then we'll discuss the final budget.
Just a minute.
Yes,
And then you're more than welcome. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perez.
Thank you. I have the same concern as the gentleman here, the reservation, the pool. I've been coming in this community since I was 10 years old,
Thank you.
back in the early 70s,
Beautiful.
1972. When we didn't have people living out here, when we didn't have the clubhouse. It didn't exist.
Wow.
And I've seen the changes, and it hurts me to see that as a landowner, as a property owner, and I live out here,
Sure.
that we really can't use the facilities. You know, we are tax-paying people, and I understand we have the good and the bad,
Always.
always as usual.
What facilities are you talking about, please?
The pool,
Okay,
the
okay.
reservoir,
The reservoir, you forget about.
He can come up with the 50, let her speak, let her speak.
No, I just want to know what facilities you
no,
talking about.
I've been in the reservoir plenty of times. I used to buy the key myself.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I had the sticker for the ATV.
Nice.
You know?
I told you we have stickers.
Oh.
Land used to be $2,000 an acre out
And
here, it ain't no more.
it was 2 keys
No,
and
I'm
2
saying.
stickers.
She's got 3 minutes. Y'all taking her 3 minutes from her. Go ahead.
Okay, and I enjoyed all of that,
Yes,
and all
ma'am.
of a sudden, it's like taking candy away from a kid.
All right.
Like, this is what's happened, you know, you're used to living in this community, having all of this, and all of a sudden, everything gets ripped off of us. To the point that you can't even ride a 4-wheeler out in the community to go to Mary Lou's.
You can.
No, you can't.
You can.
And the outcome might not be good.
They do it every day, Eliana.
No, well, but legally, you cannot.
Okay.
Legally, you cannot,
There you go.
okay, but we used to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and because of some bad apples
Yes, ma'am.
in the sack, screw all of the other ones that are living here,
Understood.
okay? And I don't think it's fair. And if the reservoir, like you said, it's out of the question, we can't even fly over it, not even with a drone.
Jeez.
Okay,
We can go in there with
with
horses.
a drone,
No, with the horses.
Go ahead.
no, not even with a horse, you're not allowed to go on the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Yeah, you can go out on a horse or walk, but you can't ride.
Yeah.
You can't ride on a motorized vehicle. It was never designed for that.
Okay, I've been out there on horses myself.
Yeah, so
I've
have
been
I.
out there on horses
So have I.
before.
You know, I used to come on.
Right, you're using up her time, man.
She got 3 minutes. Let her speak. Let her speak.
So-
3 minutes.
That's okay, I can listen to. So all I'm saying is,
Yes, ma'am.
if we can help the community so we can enjoy the facilities
Yes.
as homeowners,
Yes.
the pool situation,
Okay.
okay? If there could be maybe 2 days a week, adults only, so there won't be the risk and the liability of minors.
You can't do that, man.
You can't do that, adults only?
It's a community facility.
Okay, if
You
it's a
can
community
separate.
facility, then signs, swim at your own risk.
Oh, no.
That part is open.
And then people, and sign a waiver. Let's sign a waiver for those people that are going in the pool, or you can use the facility, but you're gonna sign a waiver, you're not gonna give us a lawsuit. Because we gotta protect ourselves,
At all times.
okay? If you're saying that you need 2 lifeguards, and you only have money to pay for 1, but still sign that waiver. Hey, you're coming in here, you can use the facility, but if you drown, okay, or you break a leg, or you break an arm, don't come suing us. We're leaving the doors open so you can enjoy it, but don't sue us. And you make everybody sign a waiver.
Even if you sign a waiver, you still are
You're still liable?
in the law to sue anybody.
Yeah.
So
That waiver's
a waiver doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, we got to bring it to a close so we can.
Okay, and then the other thing, then if we cannot use the reservoir, what about installing and letting us use four-wheelers out in the community again, not riding them on
State
the
law,
road.
state law, we have nothing to do with it.
Hold on.
It's a state law.
You can talk to Mr. Whitten, Sheriff Whitten on that. Him and his team can explain that. Actually, the deputy after the meeting, she can explain it for you if you like as well. But she-
One thing I want to.
Yes. Okay. Are you finished, Ileana?
Yeah,
Good evening. Is that it, Ileana?
yeah, the other thing is that, or golf carts, we can't use golf carts either, and they're electric.
It's about getting educated on what we can and cannot do.
Call for it.
That's a great thing. But everything that you just spoke of, we have checked in and it's a no.
It's a no for everything,
It's a no because of the way we're set up. But that's a very good question.
but how come right here in town, people
We're-
ride in golf carts?
City of Worcester,
So,
City of
exactly,
Worcester.
we're not a city.
No, no, but-
We're at 298. That's where we have to educate
But we
ourselves as
still
citizens.
fall under Clueston.
Man, you're beat a dead horse that all of us have tried already.
Yeah, we've
Dang, Eliana, there ain't nothing that you said since the 70s that we ain't been saying to the
You
commissioners.
know, I've been here for,
So this water control district that we have, so that the community can understand, has its limitations. And everything that we cannot do as far as riding, golf carts, go-karts, all those types of things, is because the way our charter is set up. The only way we can change our charter is to go before legislation and start that process. That is the only way. So all those things that we say, well, why is Clueston doing it? We're not Clueston. Clueston's a city. We're not a city. We're chapter
we're a community
298.
inside Clueston.
We're a chapter.
No, inside Henry County.
Exactly.
I can give you an idea.
But,
Can-Am,
Eliana, thank you, but we'll let the board speak.
Can-Am sells these side by side, they cost like $30,000.
Right.
They do pass inspection with the driver license. If you go there and you have all the paper, and you have signal lights and everything else, they'll give you a tag.
Yep.
And then you can ride that side by side.
And that's one thing, and we're gonna turn the floor over to.
One thing I want you to do.
Thank you, Eliana.
Juliana, I started coming to Missoula since in 1979. And we used to go in there, no keys, no nothing. We just go right in there, go hunting in there.
Fishing,
So we
hunting,
were allowed to do everything.
you barbecue,
The
you.
good old days.
Exactly. So I love Montura. Been coming to Montura since 1979.
I've been coming
We
here
didn't have
since
no
72.
restrictions. We didn't have no restrictions in the reservoir. But now everything changed.
Now we all got kicked.
Now, one thing I believe, as Herminio was speaking on, like for instance, in other states, and I believe you'll touch on it, is you can ride certain vehicles on the road. You just have to have the proper documentation, the proper licenses, if they require licenses. Like there's some motorcycles that you can ride on the road if you have the turn signals, the sticker, the insurance, and I'm pretty sure there's other different areas that you can do those types of things. So again, you can always look into those alternative things.
But ATVs or ATVs?
I didn't say ATVs. I didn't say
No, but I just want to mention for her.
Right, right.
She mentioned ATVs.
But
That's
this
the
is a
state,
rural
this is
community.
it's small,
This
it's
is
not
like-
ourselves.
it's
That's
kinda
the
hard to
state, it's state law.
Very tough.
Prohibit the ATVs.
You know, we live in a rural community and it's like we're living in the city.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Leon.
With what you said regarding the ATVs, the golf carts and stuff like that, the board here has pushed for that when I first got elected. I was
With the
on
county
board
commissioners.
with the county commissioners, and we took it all the way to the state. And with our attorney's help, we received a letter from the Attorney General stating that we don't have the power as a county, even as a district, to even overrule them. We have to take it up with our senator to change our 298 to adopt it on. So that's 5-10 years from now. Unless we as a community say that this 298 water control district is not working and that we need to become a town or a city, then we will have more power as that to do whatever we want within our district. But as of right now, we were limited. And when I first got elected, it was one of the biggest things I pushed with the help of the board, and the state shut it down. The Attorney General said, no, you don't have the power, nor does the county have the power to give it to you. So it's not something that this board has done to take away. It's not something that the county has done to take away. It's something that our senators and congressmen that sit in Tallahassee said there's no need for within our water control district. That's really what happened. And with all of the changes and things that have changed in Montour, that a lot of people are saying that Montour is changing, it's turning into a city. What's really happening is this board is very attentive to the community. So when we hear certain people say, oh, we want this, we want that, we have to take it up with the state, because that's who our bosses are. And if the state says no, our hands are tied, there's nothing we can do. So we go back and we tell the community, we can't do it, we don't have the power to do it. So like I suggest and I tell a lot of people is, we have to see what works for us as a whole, as a community, to change Montour from a 298 water control district. Either we want to go to a town or a city to better help us as a whole. But that's really the majority of what you see happening. We're getting way too populated here in Montour, we're growing rapidly. The county can't keep up with us, the sheriff's office can't keep up with us. It's a very big thing. So the biggest thing that I suggest is that we as a whole try to find some objective, some reason to move from what we're in now to something else.
And the other thing
Well,
is,
can't we do that?
so again, so you have a young man, you have a couple in the back, some of these things that they have presented, welcome, come on in. So some of the things that presented is we have to know, as we're saying to Richard earlier, know the facts, and let's come together as a community to find solutions to enjoy the things that we can. Again, I'm a little more optimistic than most. That's ours, whether it's South Florida Water Management likes it or not. But when we go past what's ours and what's restricted, that's where we get in trouble. That's where the hammer comes down. So again,
Well, we were doing it for 50 years.
Yeah, and then somebody called them and told them.
Because we were doing it for 50 years.
That's all it takes?
it seems. If you want, so let everybody know. So in this meeting, if you really want to speak, because it's not a going forth bylaw, please come sign a paper so you can speak. Thank you.
Right, all right, thank you guys.
You're more than welcome to speak, but this is the opportunity. Please fill out the paper now, because we got to go into the rest of our meeting. So again, the thing is knowing the facts. So everything that he just told you is factual. We went up to the Attorney General, and they say you don't have a jurisdiction over those roads. Because the way our charter is set up, this 298 actually restricts us as we move forward. Now, this water control district in the 70s when you were here worked absolutely fine because there was nobody.
Nobody else.
Right? Well, it doesn't work now as we have more people coming in. This 298 actually handcuffs us now.
So how do we get to change that 298?
As he said, we have to go before legislation.
That's gonna
It's,
cost money or we have to?
oh yeah. You can speak, is it? Go ahead.
Hi, how are you everyone? Good afternoon. Speak for my husband and our family.
Sure.
And our friends here. Majority of them are from the south side. Grew up here as a child.
Good.
And I've been coming here as a child. And lived here until 5 years.
Good.
Okay, so I've seen it from what it was from my childhood, because I used to come here and visit from West Palm. I lived in Waxahachie all my life. Waxahachie is rural, we have agriculture, we have horses, equestrian, we have a whole life in Montour, just actual more houses and not so much, mobile homes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and dirt roads,
I live there, yes, ma'am.
so you know that ATV ride, as long as we're, not racing down the street, turning up streets, cops come by, if you say hi, wave, make sure they're not stolen bikes, okay? One thing I can suggest for those areas you did mention that we're restricted to go to, boulder walks. Use boulder walks as a restriction access. It's natural, part of the wetlands, something that cannot be deteriorated. Won't allow four-wheelers to go there because no one in their right mind who bought a $15,000 ATV or a $4,000 or $2,000 would want to put it across over it and mess up their wheels, axles, and so on and so forth. They're easy to access. You can get a bobcat and start, grading, or a excavator and just grab them up and just put them.
Sure.
We can use that as an access. Now, regarding other things that I don't agree with, we're all here to talk and communicate and find a solution to this. It's been an ongoing solution for the residents.
Sure.
We all want to be able to access this because this is, the majority of people that live here now were sold to the idea that that was open and opens access for all of us here. Anyone that buys property here and builds on that property has access to gain to that. Has an actual home and not just coming on the weekend, putting a tent or an RV up and then have access to it. No, you have to actually have an actual home. A mobile home or a home. Like, this is not a big place. Ventura is not huge where you can't have somebody give you an ID, go to their actual home, you know, and find out if that's an actual home or if they're just coming on the weekends.
Sure.
And then provide it. You know, say we have up to 48 hours or 72 hours to provide you a key once we can confirm that you actually have a mobile home or an actual home.
So, because you only have 3 minutes, Annie, and so.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay, no, so again, so I think you guys missed it, mostly here for the reservoir, I think that's great, so you can hear what we had to say. The attorney just spoke, Richard just brought this question up earlier. We did get a response from South Florida Water Management. Please make sure you guys get Becky, who is our assistant district manager here, the information, and you can see, and again, it's gonna take the whole community to come together to get that open. So you can see what they're requiring Central County to do to make sure we can ride in there. And so you'll know as a community, we can ride in there. But if we ride in that protected area, they're coming down with the hammer.
And I would want to say again to you, I think most of us here that have been here since the 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s know what those protected areas are.
No, ma'am.
You don't think we do?
No,
We've done this before.
there's wetlands out there that I didn't even know were wetlands.
Well, there's trails that are currently there, and the majority of us that live here, I can probably say, do follow those trails, correct? Or do we deviate from
And
those
some
trails?
of them are through the wetlands.
And every one of those trails that you speak of, and he is an avid, advanced rider, and he'll tell you, okay, anybody know where that hammock area is at? Where all the trees? When you got to that, you went through every wetland you're not supposed to go.
You're explaining where those bees were.
With those bees that were killing everybody and hitting everybody. But there's so many protected areas, even some grounds that we said, that can't be a wetland. They're like,
Oh,
no,
can
sir,
a map
it's a
be
wetland.
provided to us?
There you go. So again, that's where we need the community to get involved. We have fought for a year, hold on, watch this. We have fought for a year, have we not, Richard, to get to where we're at here, as a board to keep it open. So I just want to be honest with the community. In order to get that thing open, and we want it open because we want to enjoy it as well. That's why we moved to Monterey, right? We all moved here to enjoy the outdoors. It's going to take everybody in this room and then some to keep this place open, keep that open.
So can I suggest that the same boards that are available to us when we go riding on the bikes trails down 830, what, 2?
833.
Or 33 going down, those places that actually have a board. Even when you go fishing, Florida Wildcat has a board telling you what fishes, what's not allowed, you know, information on where you can get your license
It's
for
gonna have
boat
to be-
street. Can we put a
It's
wooden
going to
board?
have to be more than that. I mean, the whole community's got to be, we're going to have a, if you read hopefully, please, get your emails to Becky. We're going to have to come up with a comprehensive plan that is foolproof, and I'm optimistic that we can make it happen. Because as I told everybody earlier, if you record the meeting, and it'll be on YouTube, hopefully, Facebook, whatever they call it, late tomorrow, or whenever it comes out, I believe we can coexist and keep that a beautiful place, and we can enjoy it. As some of the members have spoken, nobody has that in their backyard but us. So that's something that I don't want to lose. Me personally, I would not want to lose that. So I would fight anything that I can to keep it open. That's my pledge. Richard, have I not done that since South Florida Water Management came and brought the hammer down? Again, so there's people in the community that, you know, sent emails to whatever, but again, we fought to keep it open. Now, he says, how much did you say probably, rough estimate?
I don't know.
So we're looking at
$200,000?
to do all the things that they asked us to do. We don't know until we get the comprehensive
Well, I
plan.
work in commercial construction, I can definitely be a help of that.
And that's what,
We don't have
As senior estimator.
$20,000. That's the problem.
good,
The
So
problem
I
is we
can
don't have
definitely help
$20,000.
look for resources and people.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's what we
And
need.
so please do this, because there's a lot of you here that want that open. Let's come together, build some type of citizen community, and we pitch together to do and to preserve what we have so we can enjoy it, not just on the weekends, right? With your friends, your family. Nobody on this board wants it to be closed.
And I'm sorry to say this, but this is a rural area. There's nothing around here to do for young lives or older people that are retired.
Sure.
Okay, there's not that many jobs available, so I understand that
Totally agree.
resources here are very difficult. You know, this is not a high income. We can say that. So I understand when you say 200,000 seems a lot for
Yeah,
a
this
small
board doesn't have the money.
rural area, but I think, you know, not just me, we have people out here that works for the Seminole tribe on the rocks that we could probably talk to and we can negotiate something, you know, that live here.
Yes, ma'am.
And he's a manager. It's just a phone call for me to do away and see what resources we can come up with, even if we take donations.
And
A
that,
little pitch from everybody, but it's an open communication that we need from you guys. And this is the start of it.
and yeah, we've been communicating for how long, Richard?
I understand that, but we
Since we shut it down, we have been
we need
communicating.
solutions.
Exactly.
And
So,
this is the part, if you're telling me it takes 200,000, Anya, give a call to this guy and see what we can
I
come up
wouldn't
with.
care if it's
If we're gonna go down that line, let's go down there and let's tackle it, let's just get it done.
Right.
Cause I'm tired of COVID,
Yeah.
I've gained 60 pounds, believe it or not, and I hate it.
you know,
Let me tell you something real quick.
I
This
really wish I acted
this
like that.
happened, this happened years back.
sure.
They came in here, they
And
shut it
We
down,
appreciate it.
we talked our way out of it. We agreed that we were gonna, they already heard it, but just for you guys that just got here. We agreed to put up signs, little signs, and people weren't gonna go in the wetlands. They ran over the sign, shot holes in them, and continue to do so. It's gonna take fencing, and
I will tell
they're
you-
not playing, they're
And
not
I will
playing.
tell you,
You can't
I'm sorry,
go
what
with
is your
it.
name, Benny?
Yes.
Benny, I will tell you, the majority of those people are the ones that bought new here, not from here.
Alright,
Because I'm sure anybody that's been here since the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and that bought 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, are not gonna do that. Because we live here, that's the difference. We're gonna take care of our home because we live here.
I get it.
We don't just come in the weekends
I
just
get
to
it.
come fun and then go back, and don't worry about it.
but we
We're gonna
can't
go back
stop the
home
weekend warriors from going in. They're landowners.
So I need
Can't
some-
stop.
So we
can, don't sell them the key.
Hold on,
Don't sell them a key, go to their house, make sure they have an actual home, and actual full-time residents here.
So we appreciate it. With three
I'm
minutes.
sorry.
No. I love your passion. So again, so I want everybody to understand. You and everybody on this board has a responsibility. If you think that we have the answers to
There's always answers,
exactly,
always solutions.
we want solutions. So again, I would suggest with all the people, if you want to speak, you have to sign a thing. If you want to get involved, please, so we can help figure it out. But if we just come and vomit, and I'm not saying that's what you're doing, because I get frustrated too.
I just need you to tell me what's the solution, and then I'll
So
email you.
the great
this and that, and move forward.
the great thing this evening is we did get a response from South Florida Water Management, so we can share that with the community, and then you can help bring a solution. So guess what? We can go back out there and enjoy stuff that we can, and we can coexist. That's great.
See, you tell me right now, if Boulder Rocks will work, let's do the Boulder Rocks. I'll call them right now, I'll call them right now.
We have to
Does
make sure
anybody
they
have
allow.
anything else? Because we need this, I'm sorry, but it's
3
not really a
minutes, I
back,
understand.
it's not a back and forth. You have to
He's
come
got one,
sign
he's
something.
got one question.
Can't do it, brother. You gotta come sign
Come here.
something.
No, wait a minute.
So anybody else,
Yeah, I'll
please?
Put all our names from
Ask him.
We got in trouble because it was a free-for-all,
Here, Fernando.
back and forth.
Just one simple question.
Appreciate you coming out to the meeting, thank you. And I know some of you come a long distance, so we thank you.
We have a map in the office.
He's gonna ask for you?
And regarding the licenses and things you were mentioning about, you can get them registered, that's,
Is it?
oh yes, we got stopped here by a cop and he said that was no good.
How you doing, guys?
Let me grab it.
I'm the one who lives over here, 842, the small house over here. In the back, built a 1.5 million house here because I love this place.
Okay.
All right? And I got pulled over.
Which one are you?
Lee,
Lee, okay.
okay, 842 over here.
Yes, sir.
Guys.
Thank you.
Well, I go to my book.
Hold on. We can have one conversation. Go ahead, Lee.
Okay. I collected my book. I built this house, it took me 5 years, no mortgage. Anyway, I was driving an ATV. I was told I can drive if you get a license, street license. You call it street license. I spent about $1,000 to get it. My whole family's in the police force and the firefighter. So my whole family's in there. So I like to do everything by the book.
Sure.
I got pulled over for a I hate to say this, a really good guy, big guy, I don't know his name, I don't know. I'm gonna go to court him, and my secretary said, nah, leave. Come on, man, you here in Montreal to have a good time.
Sure.
Not to go court against, you know. Anyway, now they tell me nobody can ride an ATV because some idiots out there that don't do the rules. Well, what we should do? Go after them, then not after the good people, the good families that we have here. You know, now we can't have fun. I have to build, but since I bought the whole neighbors behind me, I'm gonna build me an ATV track. You know what I mean? But that's not right. You know what I mean?
We don't have control over that. That's a state. That's a state law. It's got nothing to do with us. Of course, out here, we have nothing.
Yeah, I called the city, and I told them, what,
City or the county?
the county, excuse me. I'm Portuguese.
That's fine, that's fine, that's fine.
And they said to me that you can ride in the grass. And I said, okay, great. You know, even though I had the license, street license, I would do it.
Okay.
I went to that place, what's the name of that place you buy? Milk and all that,
The store.
the store. Yeah, Mary Lou, I was there,
That's
and I saw the officer right there, I didn't say hi to the guy. I picked up my thing, I went to put gas and went home, my house right here.
Sure.
The guy was really, you know what I mean? I said, listen, it's hot in here, let me hit somebody, let me drive to my house, and then I'll deal with it. No. If you don't get somebody to throw it, you know, get somebody to pick it up, you throw it, it's a strike. I don't know how, because you know, my whole family's in this. He's an idiot, excuse my language. Fine, but I mean, why everybody has to pay for that? Nobody can write nothing anymore. I cannot have my father behind me in the pig, there's 8 things that I have, right along,
So,
you know.
so Lee, as far as that, brother, that has nothing to do with this.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's. Oh, I thought. You know, it's a little ATV over here. Open that up.
That, so.
I agree with that too. I mean, why should we not able to?
We're
200,000. Really? It's
we're
another
trying-
big place that included.
We don't have
So don't
any
get taxed, so what's the purpose of wasting money on tax?
That's what we all gotta get together.
So as you, I don't know if everybody knows, but Hendry County is probably one of the poorest counties in Florida. We're not at the upper echelon, but we do have some wealthy people that live in Hendry County. We have some wealthy landowners and all that. But as reference to you riding outside in the road, that's your jurisdiction.
Good to know that, because I thought I had to do everybody here. I didn't know that. See?
No, that's fine.
You know what I mean?
And we appreciate it. But as far as that, we're trying to come up with a solution to get
I'm
that.
here. If you need me in my house.
Let me tell you something. That's a state law. Everywhere in the state of Florida, it is illegal to ride the ATVs in the streets. Anywhere, any state. I mean, any county.
My house is in Coral Springs.
No, no, sad,
I built that for weekend. I do it like, oh shit. But I built that and I love it, you know what I mean? And I come here 3 days, I come 4 times a week, you know? I'm supposed to be weekend, but I come 4 times a week.
Thank you.
But in Fort Lauderdale, I see them out on the streets. You gotta have the plate, you gotta have the license plate.
Sure, let.
And I did that because one officer here, that I was right I did what he told me to. And I said, plate, so that's it. But I know we're not talking about this today. It's about that, I apologize, I know that. But I'm here to help out if we can do something to open that up.
And as far as like, for instance, getting on the road, I mean, you have access to Mr. Whitten, who's our county sheriff. You have access to him. You can always ask him and his team what they have to say. Because again, we're not the subject matter experts on what you can do on the road and what you can't do.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Next we have Fernando.
I just got a question.
Go ahead, brother.
Simply, do you have to live out here to sit up there?
Sit up there.
Yeah, but anybody from anywhere? I'm asking, you know, to have enough space, you gotta live out here.
As far as landowner, to be on a landowner, so I'm on a landowner seat, Benny's on a landowner seat, and Mr.
Santana.
There you go, one second. Those are landowners, so yes, you have to be a landowner. As far as the seat that's open and the seat that Mr. Santiago, I don't know, understand that. I don't understand that one. As far as that has to do with the Board of Elections.
Popular vote.
Popular vote. But to sit on these 3 seats, you have to have land.
I believe all the
in
cities,
Montreal.
all the cities have to be, you know,
Do you have to be out here certain years, or just came out 2 years from Miami and anywhere else?
That Fernando, I do not know, because I know as far as the landowner, because those seats over there are run by the board, the Hendry County Board of Elections. These seats that we sit as landowners, you have to have not only land here, it has to be in your name and the whole 9 yards and those kinds of things.
If you own a land for 6 months, you can sit on the land also. As long as you own your land.
And I guess, like for instance, so we have elections coming up in October. My sheet's up as well as Benny's sheet's up. And if not mistaken, you have to have not only show it, but be up to date. Is it up to date with taxes and everything? So there's a few things that you can do. There's a few things that you can do. But as far as the seat that he sits in and the other one that's vacated, that has to do with the Henry County Board of Elections called popular vote, right? That's the popular vote. So back in the day, Montreux was actually, if you look from the beginning, when, what was the company's name? Not T-Bar. What was that company that had Pan American? There used to be 3 board members.
It was all like 3 and then it went to 5, all landowners.
It used to be 5 landowners, right? And then some people from the community got involved, said, no, we want to be able to have a say-so. So I guess they went to legislation.
We spent
and they were able to get 2 popular votes. So like for instance, if you rent in Montreux, you're able to sit in one of those seats if elected. But if you rent in Montreux and try to run for a landowner seat, that won't qualify you. Correct? Am I correct on that statement?
I got I live.
Yeah, good.
It just seems like 5 years this way, go back 5 years this way, everything just fell apart. Everything fell apart, and they like to point the fingers at Rody, they like to point the fingers back at the other guy, and it's like pointing the finger everybody. I don't know, I'm lost.
Well, that one I don't know about.
I'm just saying, I'm lost.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure something out, not that everybody knows me here. I mean, my whole family back there, everybody knows they it's like, yo, run.
You should. You should.
If I run, should be the speaker right there.
You should.
Bye-bye. Hi, everyone.
Good. And again, as we got to get to the meeting. So as you can know, right? And this is what I say. Even we actually work for the community. And remember, the community, we have about 6,500. Is that true? 6,500 lots in Montreux, minimum, something like that. 6,500 to 7,000 lots. So that's a lot of landowners, right? Some have more land than others. But in order, you've seen this grow. You see Montreux different. There's people coming from Venezuela, Honduras, Hialeah. You got people coming from Coral Gables, Florida City. You got people coming from Sweetwater.
Do all you guys live here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I've been on this board.
In order to be on this board, you have to live in Montreux.
Okay.
The farmhouse up there.
Yes, sir. So again, we, if you don't like the direction that we're going, I tell you, you got to get involved. And that's one reason that I got involved. It's not perfect, but if people have better ideas and better visions, hey, I'm all for it because we definitely need that on this board. Montreux is not going to get any smaller. Loxahatchee, when we went out to Loxahatchee.
Yeah, I remember. I've been there since the 90s.
Yes, that property.
There was nothing but one house on the block, if anything.
And we was out in the sticks, way in the back. We could hear the lions roar from Lion Country
Yeah,
Park.
that's true.
I know what Loxahatchee was as well as the acreage. You go by there now, it is different.
Yep.
We on this board, I think I can speak for most of us, we'd like to preserve this country lifestyle, this smooth lifestyle, if all possible. How do you do it as people move in? As I told my wife, she said, there's way too many people moving in. So we got 2 options, Fernando, right? Either I buy the whole block, or I sell and find me another place in the sticks somewhere, right? But again, I'm committed. I'm raising my family here, my daughter's here, my grandkids here. I am committed. Whether I'm on the board or not on the board, I will help. So again, if our passion is to keep this thing open and try to ride again, please get with, I think, Richard, didn't you start something?
Sorry.
Didn't you start a committee or some citizen group?
I'm working on putting people together, but the main thing is that there's a lot of misinformation, and we have a lot of that, so we gotta gather up the facts and realize that as a community, because there's a lot of talk, but little action. And I'm glad a lot of people showed up today.
Appreciate that.
Yes. Good job. And so, there's gonna be a cost. I mean, we know there's gonna be a cost. And it's not a matter of looking back at who did what. It's a matter of, this is who we're at, and this is a solution, and who's gonna pitch in? Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Even if we get a boulder rock in each house
Exactly.
to pitch in.
Donate, everybody donate.
Right.
See that, Benny? I'm for it.
No, I'm with it. I'm just saying, realistically.
Well, it's not gonna be cheap.
It's not
We know
good.
that.
It's not
We
good.
know
But it can happen.
But we
It can
have
be done. It can
resources,
definitely be
because
done.
we do have a lot of landowners who do own excavators and bobcats.
Yes, ma'am. When we
Okay,
get
we do
involved.
have that, we can have people donate their time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we can have the solution. You need to direct us and tell us, okay, the solution is boulder rocks. Who's got it?
Yeah,
What can we come up with this week?
Remember, we've been waiting on South Florida Water Management to give us direction.
And we
For a
finally got
year,
some direction.
we've been negotiating back and forth, and we just got a plan.
Yes.
And we're still not clear on some things. They may not want boulder rocks out there, and they may not let just anybody go out there and impact their wetlands, because they said, we will not impact wetlands anymore.
But
So,
I like your solution.
We're working
That
on it.
is the solution.
We're gonna find a solution.
Don't you have boulder rocks from all over the rim, so people don't access it to go in through another direction?
Exactly.
That has stopped people.
What we're waiting on their direction.
In Homestead, they do it. I remember.
And I understand.
But I know, but
But
if
your 3
they
minutes
do
is
it
up,
to
Mama.
stop
Yeah.
people
I appreciate that.
showing an opinion, you know.
And that's what we need. Again, I love your passion. I love everybody showing up. And again, I believe, we can come together and find a solution. And again, most of these people have thick skin. It doesn't bother me what you think or oppose. Again, if you don't like the direction, if you don't think we're going the right direction, we want you to get involved. We want better leaders. Listen, I'm here for the long haul. I'm going to live in this community, and I will support the person who follows me or whatever. Because again, we're going to need creative people to take us. We have a diverse group of people. There's a lot that we're missing in our community. I'm tired of going 20 miles away to get my necessities. Why don't we have it here? I will support the local people. Let's go far, baby. Let's keep going.
Even an Aldi
Let's
would
go.
be
We're gonna
nice.
keep going.
Even an Aldi would be nice.
Let's, I'll discuss and vote on the drive.
I know, right? Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree.
Where are we on the You ready?
That policy was given to the board members and it was also forwarded by Famero. It was just an update of the driveway policy that we give the new landowners as they come in and they pull their permits
Sure.
on what it all entails.
Okay.
So you guys were supposed to vote on it this
I
meeting.
read mine. Anybody have any questions?
Is
on
it
the drive policy?
everything we talked about?
There's some
about how we're gonna change the residents' code.
So moved.
I don't have any question. Anybody on the board have a question about it? What you read?
Everything we talked about in the previous meeting, fine print.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't here, but y'all read it.
So do we have a motion on the floor for the new driveway policy?
Sorry.
We have a motion on the floor by Supervisor Tam. Do we have a second?
Aye.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nay?
No, I said aye.
A 4-4 approval. Thank you with that one. We discussed it. We beat that reservoir to death. But thank you, please. And let me tell you something. It makes the board happy that you've come out and to support this. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought everybody gave up. We've been beating on this one.
Let's go on to our next one. This resiliency grant resolution.
Mr. Fumero, I think is gonna speak.
Mr. Primero, you have the floor.
Yeah, I have a little bit that, I know there was a meeting a few days ago, on that, but let me just tell you, I spoke to Erin Davey, who is our consultant, and she said, quote, I sent her an email today, saying, how are things going? And she said, it is highly likely that Central County Water Control District is going to get a $4 million grant. We're gonna have to talk to our this is from the legislature. This is for flood control and water resource management. And she says that we're gonna have to talk to the Hendry County legislative delegation, which is whoever is our state representative. We have to talk to him or her to get them to support the project. Does anybody know who the state representative is for Hendry County?
Anybody?
Uh-oh.
The what?
You gotta move speak down, call it.
The state representative.
It does,
Person who
that's Kathy.
represents Hendry County in the state legislature.
That Mr. Brian,
We will call Brian, so.
we'll check into it,
Yeah,
John. It should be,
Brian Donalds will be doing this.
That's what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
John, keep going.
Go ahead, John.
Becky, tell John to move.
Yeah, so that there was a meeting with our consultant on Monday or Tuesday. Becky, were you, I was not in that meeting. Were you there, Becky?
Yes, so basically she was stating, just the last bit of the information. They put everything together. It's gonna be all turned in by September 1st. That's what you guys need to vote on, the, resolution, giving her the go-ahead with, the details. That was all that that we spoke about, in the last meeting when she first came. So
Yeah.
we've gathered all the information, we've given her
Yeah.
all the pictures, I gave her a video that I found. Everything they've asked us on our behalf and Mr. Bennett's behalf, we've turned it in. Just now is the resolution that you need to vote on, so we can turn that in tomorrow morning. I have to have that to her.
So moved.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah, that resolution basically submit the grant proposal. The resolution shows that the board approved
Okay.
and wants it.
So can we get a motion on the floor for approval of the resolution for this grant?
So moved.
We have a motion from Supervisor Santiago. We have a second. We have a second by Supervisor Santana. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Mr. Boy, you up? The budget, final budget. Any questions?
Inside your folder here, you've got 2 pages there. One is the final budgets, got some signatures. And then I wanted to, I put this other one in here that had some handwriting. And the reason for that is, we had several budget meetings where we passed the tentative budget. This is the final budget.
Okay.
Staff reviewed this in detail. Proposed a few changes to it from the last one. And that's what I've shown here. Total like $29,000 spread out more than 60. So that change has been incorporated into this final budget.
Okay.
So I just want to have that be there as a bridge.
So this is the real one, this is the final budget, the one that's been written on?
Well, the one that's not written on is the actual.
That's the actual.
Oh, and this is,
All right.
and this is where I was showing how we moved. The total expenditure was still 29,000. Other than that, everything's the same.
Okay.
Everybody approves that, and that'll be the final budget.
Any questions from the board? All right, can we get a motion on the floor for this budget approval for 2022-23?
Aye.
We have a motion on the floor. We have a second. We have a second by Supervisor Alvarez. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries for the budget 2022-23. Thank you. Cross that one off. Can we get our manager's report? You have the floor, Emilio.
We're going through the applicants for the position that we have open. We've been through a lot of back and forth and emails with for the grant and the meetings. Like Becky said, everything is being submitted to the lady. We were just missing the resolution. We continue building roads, however, the rain let us do so. We did a big portion of Kennel.
Which section?
We have done everything from the sewer road all the way to Pinecone and the sewer down all the way to Hunting Club. And we're just missing the very last end, which is only one part after the canal all the way to Cleveland. Okay. And then after that we did some other roads that came out as an emergency too. The mortuary is almost done on Avenida del Sur, and then we're going to jump into Avenida del Colón right after that. We continue with the maintenance of the pond monthly. We've been managing the diesel real good with the gate behind pond number 10. Even though there has been raining a lot, by controlling the gate 152 and 139, we haven't had to pump any water or use the diesel for the last month. So that's, that's a big saving. That's 15,000 per day. Canal number 3 is done on the cleaning. We're about to jump on canal number 4. We still have some tweaks at the end that we have to finish on picking up. We keep going from Missouri. We sold 20 permits on the month. 16 of them were new, 4 of them are existing. We're still doing a lot of potholes all over with the coal patch. They're not more too much, but at least, we are doing some work with a local guy for patching. We did some of that some years back and they're still holding. As you guys can see, we haven't been able to put any resurfacing on our project for a long time, but we still have to take care of our roads. So I believe it's going to be a good idea. I'm going to divide the patches and use the money wisely. They're not cheap, but at least we're going to be able to hold our roads longer until we have something in place for resurfacing another 2 miles or 3 miles or something like that.
I think I'm waiting for Mr. Grant to give you those. Go ahead, thank you.
The trash, we're still picking up trash everywhere. Like I said on the last meeting, it's getting worse. A lot of tires, a lot of sofas, boats. We pick up 2 boats.
Please listen to what he's saying, community. Listen to what he's saying, go ahead.
Especially on the back area of Montura, they've been throwing even dead animals on 55-gallon drums. All kinds of stuff. The pool is open through the weekends. Hopefully we can put something together for the weekdays. The lift station.
Good.
Okay, so the lift station, we went through the entire lift station and after looking at the pumps and repairs, we believe we can hold our repair for another 5 years or more, doing it ourselves, and we only going to invest about $5,000 to $10,000 on it.
So the lift station we have probably can do in-house, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But when I said the lift station, I'm talking about the entire system. Inside, so we can, the pumps, the pipes, all that there is, so that's gonna give us some time to
5 years.
hold on those $100,000 for a little bit. The painting continuing in the clubhouse, the pressure cleaning. We're getting ready for the soccer tournament and hopefully we reach $50,000 this year on the golf tournaments as it's getting really busy in the office with the PayPal account and checks coming in and all that stuff for the
When is that?
golf tournament. That will be October 21st. The Friday right before our non meeting. October 21st. Yes.
All proceeds go to summer camp program area.
Right. Then we also getting ready for election time on October. So we already speak with Ms. Swindle. She's willing to do it again. She didn't mention anything about the price. She says she'll hold us back. Inflation. No, I believe she's going to charge us. So that's about it. If you guys have any questions.
Any supervisor have election, any questions for you?
I say we don't ask you nothing, because you ain't ask for nothing, and that ain't right.
Anybody? Your 3 seconds is up. Anybody else?
We good.
Thank you for that report. John Boy?
So, for the month of July, we dispersed $274,000 roughly. We collected pretty much all the current year taxes, about 5 weeks left this year. We collected $23,000 in July, most of our year taxes. We are up $239,000 for the year. Current year collection, up $10,000 in delinquent collections. As far as our discussion of the budget and where we're at there, so this is through July, so that's 10 months. We're showing excess of expenditures over revenues of $258,000. The cost of fuel is really way up. Security and dredging oil is getting way budget for. Lots of things just moving up. This coming year will be better. This year, good size loss. We've done more road work, about $350,000 in rebuilding the roads. And budget $260,000 budget there. Still got 2 months to go. Unless there's any question.
Anybody else on board have a question from the board? Dr. Lee, Mr. Pope, remember next fiscal year, if you could divvy it up, I look at financial report that we work at, it's a little bit different. I understand everybody does it different. I'd like to see, line item, boom, so I can, see when the red flag needs to go on. All right. Mr. Famero, floor is yours. Thank you, Mr. Boyd.
Mr. Famero.
Becky.
Yeah.
Tell the attorney.
You're up, Mr. Famero. I can't hear you. Unmute yourself. There you go.
How about now?
Yes.
Yeah, we went over my 2 items, which was the reservoir update, which I emailed to all of the board members, the email that was received from the South Florida Water Management District, and drafted the resolution that you all acted on today regarding the $4 million grant, which Aaron Davey seems to be very positive about. She said that there's a lot more money in Tallahassee, but unfortunately, most of that money is for cities and counties. So she said that while we're a good candidate, we would have to partner with Hendry County to go after some additional monies that are out there.
We can. Why not?
All right, anything else? Anybody on the board have a question for the attorney?
No, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. All right, we'll go to our supervisor's report. Benny, you got the floor.
Yes, sir.
Benny, you got the floor for supervisor's report.
Well, gentlemen, one thing I have is very important. What are we gonna do about the road vote? We've been back and forth with the county about roads.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned it, because I was gonna bring that up. Where are you at with that?
This board has to say, yes, we're willing before they go any further. They're not gonna move.
Did they get up? You don't speak on behalf of the whole board, bro.
I said, this board has to say.
Where are we at with that? We haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I will say it again. This board has to vote that we're willing to turn them over.
The roads,
for them to act any further. They're not wasting any more
No,
time.
no, we
Till
don't-
this vote, this board votes.
Wait a minute, you don't speak behalf on everybody.
I'm not speaking by myself. I'm speaking by myself.
So here's
You
the
know
thing,
how
as
my
a
vote-
committee, so you'll know, because we want you to be informed, so you don't hear what I say, where we at, the truth. So, and I drive it too. We're like froggers trying to, especially like today, there's a lot of messed up roads in Montour. So we reached out to Hendry County because of the taxes that we pay. We paid quite a bit of taxes to Hendry County, and we don't get much in return. If you really break down, just like what you said,
We only get $200-something, right?
exactly. We don't get much return. Whoa. We don't get much return. So what we, Supervisor Alvarez has been meeting with Hendry County, thinking about possibly turning over our roads to Hendry County. And we stick to swales and recreation, correct? Is that?
Yeah, first of all, we wanted money back from them.
That's correct.
It wasn't gonna happen. We looked at grants. Everything that we need help with, we cannot get because of the 298.
That's right.
So then, the idea was brought up, well, why don't we just turn the roads over to them, which can be done fairly easy. They maintain the roads, we keep our budget to do everything else here, which would be a great thing. It's gonna give us a lot of money back.
There's some pros and cons.
Are you
We can't
speaking
take
about
questions.
asphalt
Hold on.
roads?
We can't take questions. We're just giving you information.
Hold on.
This is not a back and forth.
Can you be a little bit more detailed on what type of roads, please?
All the roads,
Dirt roads and asphalt roads?
all the roads,
Everything.
Okay.
which they, just about everywhere else in the county, they belong. This 298 was set up very robust when it was made. It's not serving the purpose. We're limited to where we can get money. We can't get grants. The roads, I'm telling y'all, would be better served given to the county. All the research I've done, all the time I spent talking to them, it would be, they can pull money from one side of the county. They need to pave 10 roads in Montour. We'll never have that money. They can pull money from that side of the county or that side of the county, and that's what they do. They get grants that we can't get. There's so much they can do.
I never explained to you why.
Hold on.
This is not a back and forth.
Hold on.
Please be respectful.
So, all I'm saying is, we have nothing to lose. We're gonna use the roads. Nothing's gonna change except they're gonna pay to maintain the roads.
Okay, would that affect our taxes?
Listen,
As an increase?
I'm gonna say it nicely. You cannot speak out loud. This is not that type of meeting, so this is not that type of meeting. Those things we can't do right here. We already got in trouble for going back and forth.
I won't let you speak up.
So,
But thank you.
at the end of the day, they would have to set up or put us in a district. No one has said anything about taxes going up, but I'm telling you, it needs to happen. Not everybody agrees, but they're not gonna go any further until this board votes. The majority of this board votes to give it to them. Now they're gonna vote.
We already moved.
Well,
We say
hold
no.
on,
We say
hold
no.
on.
That is a bad idea.
I don't care if it's money.
Can you explain
We
why
say no.
you disagree? Why you disagree? Can you please?
I already explained it when we voted. I'm gonna explain it again now.
Okay. so we
This
don't
is our place here. Central County Water Control Districts. It's canals, roads, and recreation. That's what we are for, okay? We ask Henry County to give back to us the taxes that they're taking away from us. For every $100 that the taxpayers in Montuna, the residents, give to Henry County, they're keeping like 80%. They're keeping $80 of every $100. So in reality, what they're doing is they're taking the money away from us. But now they want to take the roads again away from us. And let me tell you.
They're not taking the road.
No, listen,
away from us, y'all.
you spoke and I listened to you.
We're not like a kid giving them a
Please,
boy.
I am speaking now, listen to me, please. No. Explain myself.
He's got the floor, he's got the floor.
Mr. Iglesias came here with 2 out persons from Henry County. They want to take the roads away from us and they want to charge us for the job that they're going to be doing. And I say, no, we disagree. Because then they're going to take the money away from us twice. And that's wrong.
That's not correct.
No, that's correct. That's correct because I was here and I know it's stupid. I know what he says. And then I want to say something else, Mr. Mata. They want to speak, they have to come here and speak to all of us. Not to one, okay, not to one supervisor alone by himself. Okay, we're being elected, all of us being elected. Danny being elected, you being elected, me being elected, Mr. Benny being elected. We are equals authority. We have equal rights, equal power. Even though you are the person here in the chair, but you are just to control the order here. We have equal power here. Nobody should be talking to the county behind a box. That's wrong.
No, now I'm gonna talk. This board gave me the authority to go negotiate. Nobody's talking to nobody behind their back. That's bullshit. I was given the authority to negotiate.
No bullshit. We born here. No. Let me tell you something. That is no bullshit. That is no bullshit. We born here not to give the road back to them.
Listen, keep the
already both done.
Keep the road. Keep the road, y'all.
No, I control myself.
Keep the road.
I control myself. But we voted not to give the roads back to the county. So if Mr. Iglesias want to talk to us, he can come over here with all his people and talk to us as a board.
They're not gonna do that.
This is no disrespect to you, buddy.
Yeah, no.
You and me were friends.
Well, you said that I was talking behind your back. This is okay for me to negotiate.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Wake up in the meeting.
No, I'm waking up in the meeting. And we both here not to give the road back to, the road to the county. So that vote have to be respected. That vote have to be respected.
I didn't know we voted.
We voted. And we say no, we'll give the roads to the county.
So just to let you know why Mr. Benny took the lead, because we all cannot be in the same meeting because of the Florida Sunshine Law. So we approved for him as a board. I understand that. He can come out. We can come out anytime he wants to. But the only reason why he was speaking on behalf of the board, because we all cannot be in the same meeting because of the sunshine.
But Mr. Iglesias can come over here with all
like
he did before, talking to all of us.
I totally agree. We can do that at any time. You're absolutely correct. So again, do you want to speak on the behalf of that?
Yes. A couple meetings ago, I suggested that our elected county official show himself and he be present to a meeting, which he wasn't. So I publicly embarrassed him on Facebook and I simply said, you're our elected official from Montour and you have not been seen now at one meeting to address the issue at hand. That following meeting, he came with one of his contractors or his engineer to simply say that our engineer, who's been our engineer for years and knows Montour like the back of his hand, doesn't know what he's doing. So when they were in face-to-face, which this is on record, the engineer suggested that we give up the roads and some of the equipment that we bought with our tax-paying dollars just to them. That was red flag number one. Red flag number two was they kept saying an administrative fee. For everyone who doesn't understand what administrative fee is, that is taxes that you pay that goes to the commissioner. So when I asked his own engineer, what do you get out of this agreement? He said, I don't get anything, but the county gets an administration fee. Thank you, and that's what I wanted to hear. It's on public record for everyone to see.
Yes, sir.
They take money from us for recreational, mosquitoes, garbage, and etc. And we, as Montour residents, we don't get a dollar back. They bought brand new parks, they bought new soccer goals, they do all of this other stuff in LaBelle and in Clewiston, but they don't do nothing for Montour.
Right.
The sad, bitter truth of it is Montour is 10 times bigger area-wise of LaBelle and 10 times bigger area-wise of Clewiston. The only thing that Clewiston has, why they classify it as a city, than LaBelle being a town, is the factory. If you look it up on a map and you ask for engineer maps, Montour is square. We are a big square, but we are 10 times bigger and population growing. So for me, it's a hard no, and that's the reason why. They want to take, but they don't want to give. So that's the honest truth of why I don't want to give them the roads.
So, let me give the community my 2 cents. We're at a crossroad here as a community. When Montour was not as populated, Rick and the rest of the community, when my wife and family moved here like 40 years ago, they could handle it with the budget, and it was probably still challenging. We have more heavy vehicles on our roads than ever before, and I'm not against them. I'm for them. They have to make a living like everybody else. The thing is, and I'm being honest with the community, we don't have the budget to maintain these old roads. We don't have the budget to take care of it. So I differ a little bit than the two that are against, because I want to see what they propose to us first. I'd like to see the proposal, and then we can probably negotiate. Is there going to be a fee? Yes. Do I agree with Mr. Santana that they take our money, don't give us anything back? Yes. And it was time for us, and thankfully for the board that woke up to see, listen, our money is leaving here and we're not getting anything for it. And again, that's why we have to have a voice at the table. So again, I'm at the crossroads. I hate to say it, looking at this budget, we spend, how much did we spend in field this year?
We're up to 320 something.
How much have we spent on field for the last 3 years with this budget?
About 1.2.
Just on field that's going to be washed away and deteriorated.
I wanted to say something.
So we have to have a better solution than what we have now.
I wanted to say something.
Yes, sir. Hold on, let me finish speaking and get the floor. So the thing is, me personally, I don't want to see every road in Montour paved. Me personally. We have about how many miles of dirt road? About
106.
We have 106 miles of dirt road. I would hate to see Montour turn into a pavement park, me personally, right? But again, I'm gonna be honest with you, we don't have the budget to maintain our roads. So that's why we as a board, unless some of us forgot, allowed Supervisor Alvarez to speak with the county to try and negotiate to see if they would take the roads. Is there some pros and cons? Yes, there are. But that's why we need you as a community to get involved so you can know what's going on. Can't take that question. I appreciate you. I appreciate your passion, believe me. You got the floor.
First of all,
Just your hand,
we are going to
That's all I
vote
have.
stating that we don't want to give roads to the county.
Yes, sir.
So it wasn't necessary any of the supervisors go and talk to the county again, because we already voted that no, we don't want to give the road back to the county. If they want to come in here and talk to us, they're welcome to come in here and talk to us anytime. I say it again, all of us. I would like to ask a question to the meeting. I've been coming to Madura since 1979. I live in Madura from 1996 to 2000. Roads are better off now than before. And way better now than before. And you are doing a good job with what you have. Okay? So let's keep on doing it. We have purchased a lot of equipment that we need. Give it to you so you do the job.
True statement.
So let's continue. Why they're gonna come over here and take the roads away from us, and then they're gonna charge us, okay?
Yes, sir.
For fixing the roads after they're taking $80, 80% of the taxes that we collect from the residents. No, that's wrong.
And you see, that's the beautiful thing of democracy. We can have differences of opinion, And some can agree and disagree. That's why it's important to have this discussion. You got the floor so we can kill this thing, man.
Okay, no, very simple.
You beat this dog to death.
No, we're not beating this dog to death. We beat the reservoir.
All right.
First of all, I don't remember the vote. Maybe I wasn't here. So again, I did exactly what we agreed on we were going to do.
You absolutely did.
Now they're talking about an administrative fee. The first thing this board has to do before they continue, people got to understand, they don't want these roads. They don't want these roads. We have to vote that we want to give them to the county, and then we're probably going to have to go to the legislator. The legislator will and drop them like a bad habit, and then they have to maintain it, whether they like it or not. And that's a terrible thing to say, but that's the way it goes. But they have been in talks and trying to see what would work, and they said something about administrative fee. The equipment that we didn't have, they were discussing with me about buying it. What equipment, if the roads were given to them, what equipment we didn't need, they would buy it and keep it here to maintain the road.
Sure.
It's a big deal for them. And listen, they don't want them. I know they don't want them. But they also are not dumb. They understand that this can be done whether they like it or not. So everybody's, talking, but it's like my man said. And I apparently he didn't know it either. Nobody knew that we voted to not to do so, because everybody's waiting on the vote. We need to vote from this board. We know you're serious, and then we'll push on. But I did not know that. I did not know that. So, with that being said, it's good. It's all good. But y'all get ready, because it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better.
But the other thing, so the newer board members can understand, the community can understand as well. I can come before the board every month with the same vote if I want to. So again, even though we voted on it,
I did not know.
we can come again the same month and beat it like a dead one. I can't answer that question. But just so you know.
Tell me to the listen to come over here. I don't know, we discussed
We
with
can
there,
make that
or we
happen.
voted out.
We can make that happen.
They're not going to do it. I can tell you right now. I don't blame them. Y'all gave me the authority to negotiate. We negotiated. We're at a place where we need to make a move. And if this board doesn't make that move, they're going to say that they're not serious, and they're done. They're done. So again,
I appreciate
like kids with toys. Nobody wants to take your toys. What advantage do you have by keeping roads? They're liabilities. Get rid of them. Use the money somewhere else. But y'all want to keep them? Keep them.
The road belongs
Keep
to
them.
us. The roads
Who cares who they belong to?
belong to
It is not.
It's okay to have the difference of opinion.
I get it, but what I'm saying is, what advantage do you have by saying the roads belong to us? What advantage? There's no advantage.
And the thing what he's trying to say as well, so we're not gonna beat this, so we.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
We do not have the equipment to maintain paved roads. That's not. I guess not. But go ahead, because my wife's gonna kill me. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Yes.
Your report.
My report?
Yes. We're not beating that one. I agree.
I like you.
Hey, I got you for free, but we don't have to agree. We live in this great nation. We can disagree.
The only thing I have in my report,
Yes, sir.
we need to have, bring it up before, I'm gonna bring it up again.
Go ahead.
The ambulance here in the fire department.
Ambulance.
In the Motura, whole fire department.
Sure.
We should need to have one ambulance station here 24/7, okay? Henry County have purchased, I don't know how many, 6, 7 new ambulances. They should park one ambulance here, have a station here, in case one of the residents need be rushed to the hospital. The ambulance is here. It will only take 5-10 minutes to go from the fire department to any of the residents here properly and take it over there. Otherwise, they have to come all the way from Houston over here, like half an hour, pick up the person that is in need and take it back to Houston. It's another half an hour. That's 1 hour. If it's a heart attack, a stroke, whatever,
You're dead.
that's the difference. Why there was station, one ambulance here all the time, 24/7.
You charge an ambulance. The county, you have to go to the county meeting and ask them.
Well,
It's not within our power.
And on top of that,
Hold on, let him finish.
no, I finished.
and on top of that, with the ambulance, we only have one deputy here in Montour. I have spoken with the sheriff in 2020 when I got elected and gave him 1 full year to give us our own district. Central District. We have 3 deputies with the police department in Clewiston, and LaBelle City pays for their deputies to be there because they don't have a police department, but they have a full-on fire department. Here comes the problem of us being a water control district. There's no money. So they're not going to station deputies out here because there's no money. So does that mean our safety is less than LaBelle and Clewiston? No, by no means. What they'll do is they'll wait until a call comes in and they'll send one down here or they'll send deputies down here, but the response time is really, really long. So what do we have to do as a board for that?
They never show up.
It's out of our power. We have to take that to our constituents, to take to the sheriff, and to take to the county when it's time for election time. Because the honest truth is, in 2020, I pulled GPS reports off of Dominguez's truck. I pulled them off of her truck. Every deputy that's in here, and they do, not her or Dominguez, those are the only ones that actually stayed here in Montour. We have deputies who, when they were out, who were substituting for them, saying that they were in Montour, but they drove in and went down, no, they drove down this road, and then they went up Hunting Club, and down 833 right back out. You know, they didn't stay here in Montour. You know, her GPS, when I pulled her GPS track, she actually drives down Montour. She drives up and down every road, just like Dominguez. And the thing is, they care about our community. They care about our citizens. And it comes into that other retrospect. When they're told to do something, they have a job they have to do. But as us being an elected board, we have to hold other elected officials accountable for their actions. The sheriff said that he's going to make sure that Montour has deputies out here and that he's going to make it another district. We're going on 2022, 3 years, and there has not been but one. That is paid for by someone who donates the money as well as donates the truck. So there's nothing that the sheriff's office is providing us, but we pay so much in tax to Hendrick County. So for that answer, yes, they did buy brand new ambulances that are in LaBelle and that some do stay in Clewiston. But what are we to do? To complain, to bring it up to the board, but to the county, we as a community have to take that up with them. Because, to be honest, Hendrick County neglects Montour. But if Montour stands up when it's election time and goes to these elected officials and say, look, you took all this money from us, we want it back, I guarantee you Montour will be a different place.
I agree. You're right. Supervisor Santiago, you got the floor.
Why do you do that?
What about the mailboxes?
Show them numbers.
Talk about that, yeah.
And show what they're actually paying for.
The mailboxes is a funny, it's not my responsibility. Me and Chair, we actually contacted many people in the U.S. Postal Service, and no one wants to take accountability for it. So the brutal truth of it is, sooner or later, Central County is going to have to take the bullet on that, and we're going to have to buy a brand new mail facility. The problem is with the mail facility is it was only built to hold the mail of the occupants at that time. They didn't premeditate for what it is today. It's outgrown. The post office says it. The main district post office says that when they put that mail facility there, it was just for every single home at that time. Now we're 10 times over, people are buying P.O. boxes. So I, as a board member, am trying to find some solution and some plan. Either we find a grant or a donation to put our own facility to hold mail. The problem is who's going to take that responsibility on once that facility is there. This board is very open to it, of taking that responsibility so everyone who lives in Montour can be comfortable. We took the responsibility on last holiday season as of putting the partial lockers out there, and with the board's approval and the district manager's suggestion, we took some of our concrete barriers to surround it so that people, don't hit them back into them, hit them with their doors so it can last longer. Because that's my mailbox, that's his mailbox, that's all of our mailboxes. So a bigger picture is we are in the works of getting there, but we're still trying to fine line the black and white. Because we have documentation from meetings ago stating that the USPS, it's their responsibility, and then we have some documentation stating that it's ours. So we're going in the legal balance. Sometimes when you're in that, it does take some time. But for a general picture, a new facility is in the outlook.
Thank you.
Time.
Thank you.
How about your report?
You just said it.
That's it? What?
We need a motion.
That's good. Thank you for that. So with my report, I've got a couple things. So I appreciate what was going on. I thank the community. Honestly, I thank you for coming out, getting involved. You have access to us, if you know it or not. Becky can provide you our information, our emails, those type of things. We live here. We live here just like you guys. Some of you guys live on the weekend. Some of you live here full time. It doesn't matter to me if you live here part time, full time, whatever. You're here. You're a part of Montura. Help us to grow. If you have some, be solution oriented. If you got solutions to our problems, bring it up. Bring it up. I definitely don't have it all. So
You only let us talk 3 minutes.
well, again, we have to follow protocol. This is not that type of floor. You can't have that. So again, you have access to us, and some of you guys do call me during the day, and I have no issue. I'm very busy as well. But with that being said, I do have one. I need one for the board to vote on something for me. I have property on 350 North Coral. On 350 North Coral from Hacienda all the way down to Treble, there is a 10-foot easement that goes all the way down between the properties. It's a 10-foot easement. 5 is on one landowner, 5 is on the other landowner. I'm asking if I can fence it in, but still have county access to that property as we've done many others before. So that's my request to the board as a landowner.
Do you need a motion?
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, because we have done it for many other people.
How does that work?
But you have to understand.
A few years back, you guys already voted. I explained it to you, but you anyway want to bring it over here.
Sure.
Okay, so a few years back, 3 or 4 years back, you guys voted that, and Fumero made a letter
Yes, sir.
for me to sign on the 10-foot easement. That's it, on the 10-foot easement.
Yes, sir.
Whoever landowner asks for it. So all you need to do is go to the office and we'll give you the paper with the sign.
So again, I just want to let the board know that easement process, but it's not what you call it. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you guys want access to it, like we've done everybody else, the same rules.
Yeah, we just gotta know that if they gotta go through there, they gotta go through.
Do we have to vote?
No.
I just bring it to you guys' attention.
He asked me, but he wanna bring it anyway just to make sure.
Other than that, can we get on the motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Thank you,
Excuse me,
everyone.
Mr. Mata, I would like to make an announcement
Well,
on behalf of the community.
the meeting is over, but you're more than welcome to speak to the community.
I just wanted to let the community know, this coming October, I'm officially running for seat number 1 to try to make a difference in the community. I have already made differences in Easter events, in food trucks. Tonight I presented that some of y'all were not here yet, the lady was, and Mr. Richard and yourself. I am asking the community for whoever would like to attend. I presented to the board and it got approved to go ahead and build school bus benches for the children of the community at the bus stops with solar power lights. It will be the community involvement in building them based on donations.